Alright, hello guys, how is it going? My name is Mark Roden, and today we are doing another video on the 350Z. Alright baby, what's the video on, Mark? Well, if you didn't read the title, the video is going to be on, is a 350Z a good starter sports car? Is it a good starting car, like a daily driver type of deal? That's what we're going to be doing today, because when I was looking for the 350Z, everybody was telling me, you know, oh, you should get a slower car for your first sports car because it's going to be a little bit too fast, and I just can't see that just yet. So we're going to be talking about that today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Before we get into the video though, if you want to support the channel even more than you already are, head on over to www.smoothstance.com/shop to pick yourself up some hats, some shorts, or shirts, that would be where the shirts would be, or shorts to support the channel. You guys don't have to, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. Let's get into the video. Obviously, there's so many things that factor into getting a first car, and that's what we're going to talk about today with the 350Z. All of those topics with the 350Z. Actually, here's a perfect, I'm going to stop right here. Here's a perfect first place to start. Visibility. Now, here's the deal. The car, like actually seeing out of the car isn't too bad, but we'll get into that in a minute. What I mean by visibility right now is stuff like this. The car, well, my car is lowered, but the 350Z, even if you're not in a lower 350Z, it's a lower to the ground car because it's a sports car. And so stuff like this, where in a normal car you'd be okay, is so much harder in a 350Z, and you're gonna have to spend so much more time getting used to it in a 350Z as a new driver. What I mean by that is, right now I'm at a red stop sign. There's a stop sign over there, and then there's a stop sign over there, but there's no stop sign over there, and that is a big hill. And as you can see, there's somebody coming over it right now, and you'll see he's not gonna stop, because he doesn't have a stop sign, obviously. But this guy is gonna stop. I'm actually gonna go just because I don't want to keep this guy waiting. But when you're sitting there at that stop sign, this hill is like blind. It's very hard to see. You have to kind of like get up, and you have to like look over, and you have to try and like look over the hill before pulling out. In a normal car, it's not a problem. I've pulled out of there 100 of times with my PT Cruiser, and it's not an issue. In a 350Z though, something like that is an issue. You're gonna have to take a little bit more time. And yes, for a experienced driver, that's no big deal. It's just, you know, oh, I'm gonna have to take a second to look over my shoulder real quick and remember to do that. But for a new driver, oh my god, I just got blinded by the sun. But for a new driver, like, that's something that's an extra step that you're gonna have to worry about now, and it might get you. It might bite you in the butt cheeks. It might be like the boogeyman at 3 a.m. It might get you, man. You never know. So that is one issue. All right. Oh my god, there's a tunnel right here. Woo! Let's go back into the visibility thing, because the actual visibility while driving the car is something that you want to talk about too, obviously. Is it hard to see when you're driving in a 350Z? Does it have a lot of blind spots? Not really. It does have more than like your average daily driver, obviously, because it's a sports car. It's meant to be more shaped around driving fast, and doesn't really care if you can daily drive it or not. But it actually isn't that bad. Some people say like, oh yeah, you can't see anything out of the 350Z. It definitely is harder than driving in my PT Cruiser. Like if I'm driving in the PT and I'm on the highway, I need to change lanes. It's just simple, like look out the mirror, maybe look over your shoulder real quick just to check, but it's not that big a deal. But if you're in like the Z, it takes a little bit longer. You kind of have to like look around and really make sure that you're going to be okay before you take that turn, and that can be a little bit tough, but it's nothing that like you can't get used to. And if it's your first car anyway, you'll like start by knowing that, if that makes any sense. Like you won't have to like do that different jump into like trying to figure out if you're okay. I am drawing a blank right now, I'm so sorry, but yeah, if you're trying to like, if it's okay to turn is what I'm trying to say, it won't be hard for you to adjust to it because you'll never have driven in a different car, so it'll be like just natural to you. And so, but it definitely is a little bit harder than a normal car, but I don't think it's like a Lamborghini, you know. You're not like blind. Like I can still see out my back mirror here. I can see a couple things. The front, when I put this down, it gets a little bit tough to like, there's not that much space, but at the same time you're low to the ground in a 350Z, so you can see every car in front of you. It's not like there's cars hidden. So it's pretty basic. It's pretty simple, to be honest. Next topic of discussion for first car ownership is the police. I know that's such a stupid thing to talk about, because it just depends on how you drive, obviously, if you get pulled over by the cops. But cops are cruel, man, all right? They can make or break your freaking life, man. You can get pulled over by a cop doing like 100 miles an hour, and he's gonna be like, listen, kid, I understand you're young, you want to have fun, so I'm gonna let you off on a warning. Or you can get pulled over doing like 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, and they can like drag you out on the ground, beat you up, and then freaking send your corpse to your family. I don't understand. Like, there's such a wide difference in cops, and so you obviously you never truly know which one you're gonna get. But in a 350Z, it almost 110% ups the chances of you getting a ticket or the car impounded at a young age like that. It's no surprise, all right? You're in a sports car and you're young. Even they know, they're not stupid, all right? They know that you're going to be driving that car fast. They know that you're not smart, that you don't know what you're really doing right now as a new driver. They know that stuff, all right, man? It's not like they're like, oh, maybe he's just going to get groceries. Like, no, what do you know what I mean? It's just, it's basic. They know that kind of stuff. They're gonna target a sports car rather than a Subaru Crosstrek. If you're in a Subaru Crosstrek, you're way less likely to get pulled over than if you're in a freaking 350Z. All right, it's basic science. And at an age that's so young, not only are you gonna get pulled over more often, but getting pulled over, they're gonna come up to the window and be like, oh, you're a young kid driving a sports car, here's a ticket. Sorry, excuse me. Rather than like if you're an older guy, they might be like, oh, well, yeah, he's driving a sports car, but he worked his whole life for it. He's fine. He knows what he's doing. It's fine. You can let him go. And so, yeah, driving a sports car at a young age sucks. I'm not gonna hide that from you. I'm not gonna try and be like, oh no, it's possible. It sucks. All right, it's not fun. I've been pulled over in my Z. I've been pulled over in the PT Cruiser too, but I've been pulled over in the Z, and I've only had it for 6 months. I've had the PT Cruiser for 2.5 years, and so, you know, stuff happens. Stuff happens. Next, we're going to talk about the price of a 350Z and/or to maintain a 350Z. Well, I'm going to make a whole video about this on a different occasion, but pretty much the bare minimum of it is, if you want a 350Z at such a young age, you have to realize that you're not going to have money for like fun activities and stuff like that. I mean, you can still like go out with your friends and go like eat and go to the movies and stuff like that, but it's not like you're going to be able to like buy the next Xbox, you know what I mean? Chances are you're still in high school, and so you're going to school 5 days of the week, and then maybe on the weekends you're working a job making minimum wage, and you're making minimum wage and you're getting enough money to put gas in this car, which the gas mileage on a 350Z is not ideal for daily driving. It's not bad, but it's not like great, all right? You'd have much better luck in like a Civic or a Camry or something like that. So for price wise, and on top of that, you're gonna want to modify it, all right? You're gonna want to add things to it to make it cooler and special in your 350Z. You're gonna want to do that. And so every extra bit of money that you do have, that you do end up saving on a 350Z, is gonna go right back into the car anyway to buy mods for it. So you have to think about that. For normal car guys, that stuff doesn't even really matter. Most of our money goes straight to cars anyway. You're gonna learn very fast as a car guy that you're gonna be broke almost 24/7, because every chance that you get to have a little bit extra money in your bank, you're just gonna drop it on some car parts anyway. And so, yeah, it does suck. You're gonna lose your money, but you better start young. It's better to start young than it is to start when you're like in your 40s, because then you're gonna be like, oh wow, I have all this money, but nobody to like enjoy the time with. Like nobody can like I can hang out with and drive this cool car with. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have, well, I mean, you'll still have friends when you're 40. I'm not saying you're gonna be like a loser when you're 40 years old, but what I'm saying is like, it's more fun to have a sports car when you're younger. And so trying to like worry so much about money right now, it's such a silly thing to do. I mean, you got so much of your life ahead of you. You can make mistakes now and you're gonna be okay. And so the money wise, I don't get it. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, you should save your money, you should not buy a sports car at such a young age. Every car guy I know had like a sports car as their first car, or at least their second car, which is my case. I saved up my money and got this car when I turned 21. And so buying a sports car, oh my god, what happened here? There's a freaking, oh my goodness, there was like an earthquake here. But yeah, buying a sports car at a young age, in my opinion, the price thing is just, I think it's silly. I think it's not that big a deal. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna lose your money as a car guy anyway. It doesn't matter. But now into the actual big thing, the dangers of driving the car itself. Is it dangerous? Does it suck? Is it scary? Are you gonna crash? Are you gonna die? It depends on who you are. And I know that sounds stupid and such an easy way out to make this video and such like a stupid thing, but it truly does. Like, if you, and be honest with yourself, man, because it could save your freaking life, okay? Be honest with you. Don't try to be like, no, Mark, you'll be fine. Or, I don't know why I said Mark, but no, you'll be fine. Like, if you are not a good driver, you don't have to tell anybody else that, all right? Don't be like, yeah, guys, well, I didn't buy the 350Z because I'm not a good driver, all right? You don't have to say that. But if you're not a good driver, just be honest with yourself and say that. Just be like, all right, listen, maybe I shouldn't buy this car because guys, let's face it, it has a lot of horsepower, all right? It's rear-wheel drive. It has 300 horsepower. It's very small and low to the ground. You're setting yourself up for failure if you don't know how to drive a car well. So just like keep that in mind. On top of that, are you somebody that likes to show off? That's okay, buddy. I like to show off too, okay? Everybody likes to show off a little bit, all right? If anybody ever tells you that they don't care about what other people think of them and that they're not trying to like show off, they're lying. They're lying. Everybody cares a little bit, all right? So it's okay if you like to show off, but if you're somebody that likes to do it so much and you're young, maybe it's not a good choice because you're gonna want to show off and go fast in it and you could crash. There was somebody who's 19 years old, I won't name his name, but in my state, and he just got into an accident literally Friday night, and today's Sunday morning. So he just got in an accident Friday night, and he was street racing in his car. That's sad to see. He didn't die or anything, he's okay, but it's sad to see that. I don't want you to be like that. So just be honest with yourself when you're going to look at a 350Z. Is it a smart choice for you? Do you think that you're gonna be able to handle that power? Do you think it's gonna be okay? Now, 300 horsepower isn't like a freaking Hellcat. If you're smart enough, anybody can you could daily drive this thing year round, no problems. I made a whole video about daily driving this thing in the winter. But if you are gonna be reckless, are gonna be trying to impress some girls, are gonna be, you know, trying to go as fast as you can, thinking that you're Adam LZ, thinking you're on top of the world, dude, save yourself the trouble. Don't buy the car because it's not meant for that. Yes, it's a toy. Yes, it's fun, but it's fun when it's safe to be fun, if that makes any sense. Like right now, this hill, it looks like it's a very clear shot. Like I could just go really fast, right? No, I shouldn't, because look at, there's houses all over the place. People could pull out right in front of me at any moment. Young kids, you guys won't know that yet. You won't understand that. There are cars living on this hill all over the place. It's not the smartest idea to go fast on it, you know? So things like that, you have to think to yourself, am I somebody that, you know, is going to look out for that stuff rather than get influenced by others' opinions and stuff like that, rather than get influenced on being the cool guy. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You don't have to tell anybody if you are or not, all right? It's not, you don't have to, if you really care and you don't want people to think that you're like some hothead ego guy, then don't tell anybody. I'm not saying like you have to go out there and be like, yeah, I didn't get a 350Z because I have a big ego and I want to like everybody to see that I'm really cool. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying, be honest with yourself. Talk to yourself. Be like, should I do that? Because if you're not like a guy who's always trying to get attention and stuff like that, then yeah, it's pretty damn easy to drive. I mean, I've been driving it, and sure, I've had experience now, but I don't really see how this is much different than my PT Cruiser. It's a little bit, it's faster, obviously, but that's only if I want it to be fast. It's not like I'm touching the gas and I'm like, whoa, we're going so fast. Like, it's fine. And see, that's what I mean. Like, if you were going fast right here, this poor lady would have gotten her freaking legs chopped off. Oh, and there's a police officer. Oh my God, there's like 3 police officers. What is going on here, guy? All right, so actually my battery died, which was nice, but actually it works out because this is a perfect place to end the video. So let me retract real quick. Do I think getting a 350Z is a good idea for a first car? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But there are a lot of factors that go into playing it. You really have to ask yourself. You can't sit there and just watch some guy's YouTube video and then decide whether or not you're going to get a 350Z or not, or a fast car of any sort or not. There are so many factors that play into like your own personality and if you yourself are a decent driver. But for the most part, I can't see, there's only like a certain handful of people that I could think of that shouldn't buy a sports car as a first car. Another thing, before we even get into it, do you like to party a lot? If you do, if you're partying and getting drunk all the time or whatever, don't buy one. Do not buy one, because at a young age you're going to drink and drive. It's going to happen. And if you're going to do that, if you're like a party animal and you're going to do that, driving a 350Z drunk is going to give you the most confidence in the world. You're going to think you're freaking Dale Earnhardt. You're going to be ripping this thing and you will crash. I mean, it's just like, it's going to happen. If you're drinking at a like 16, 17, 18, you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying you should, but if you are, and you get into the behind the wheel of a 350Z, dude, you're asking to crash. You are asking to crash. So if you're like a drunk, if you're not a drunk, I'm not saying that. If you're like a party animal and you love partying and you're in high school and you want to get a 350Z to impress the ladies aren't going to be impressed if you're sitting in the hospital for 7 months out of the year, all right? So no, I don't think you should get one if you're a party animal and you're in high school. If you're a party animal and you're like 21 or 22, yeah, because at least you have some experience behind you and at least you know what is smart and what is not smart. But in high school, we all wanted to impress everybody, and so drunk, it just makes it even worse. So no, for that, I don't think you should. But for the most part, if you're an actual car guy and you're thinking of buying a 350Z, do it. For your first car, do it. Here's the big thing. I regret not getting a fun car as my first car. Reason being is I've gone 2.5 years now driving this PT Cruiser, and I just now got this 350Z 6 months ago. When I got it, I met this group of car guys, and I have had more fun in the past 6 months than I have in the past 2 years, easily. Because I'm a car guy. I like to do car stuff. So having this car is a blast, and those are like your fun years, all right? 18 to like 21, well, 18 until like 27, I would say, is like your fun years and they're like freedom years and stuff like that. And so you don't want to sit there when you're 40 years old and you're like, okay, well, now I have my 350Z, but I missed all those fun opportunities when I was younger. You don't want to do that, man. Trust me, you're gonna hate it. And so get it now. Yes, it's a little bit more dangerous, but just be smarter, all right? Just think about that. Realize that you're not in a normal car and you'll be okay. Just be safe and just think about things like that, all right, man? If you're driving this car around and your friends are like, yo, let's race, and it's raining out or something like that, and you're in your 350Z and you're 16 years old and you're going like 100 miles an hour, maybe you should slow down, all right? Maybe you should relax a little bit and just take a chill pill and start cruising for a little bit and get your adrenaline down, because you don't want to get injured, man. You don't want to lose the car that you spent all your time for. But that is the end of today's video. Do I think you should get a 350Z as a first car? Yes. It isn't that fat. It isn't like super freaking. It's not like a Hellcat, all right? It's faster than your average car, but it isn't anything that's gonna like cause you to just be spinning out down the road, just doing 360s down the whole road. So I do think you should get one. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more. And das Vidanya, and have a nice day.